Good evening and good to see you. Thank you for joining us as we start a new week together. Tonight, as we come on the air, the Justice Department is asking a judge to release the affidavit that contains key details about why the FBI searched former President Trump's Florida mansion last week. The DOJ says releasing that document would be detrimental to the, quote, integrity of the investigation. This comes as members of Congress from both parties today are demanding more details and are asking the Director of National Intelligence for a damage assessment following reports that documents labeled top secret were found at Mar-a-Lago. The former president is defiant tonight, calling the search an assault and accusing the FBI of taking 3 of his passports. Well, tonight, a source tells CBS News it is possible they were swept up in the search, and if so, they would be returned. CBS's Nicole Killian will start us off from Capitol Hill. And Nicole, we're learning more about what investigators want with those documents.
Good evening to you, Nora. Law enforcement officials confirmed to CBS News that as investigators search through those boxes of documents seized from Mar-a-Lago, they are trying to determine who had access to those documents and their origin.
Today, former President Trump said FBI agents told his team during the search, turn off the camera, and that the FBI could take anything they want. My people were asked to stand outside. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News some of the documents taken in the search may be so sensitive they can only be read in a secure location with tight controls, and in many cases can only be declassified by the agency where they originated.
Whenever I and fellow members of the Intelligence Committee have viewed these types of documents, there are literally people standing over our shoulders.
So how do you think they could get out?
You know, Donald Trump was the president of the United States.
Congressman Krishnamoorthi sits on the House Intelligence and Oversight Committees, which demanded an immediate review and damage assessment.
We just want to protect the national security.
CBS News has learned a Trump lawyer submitted a written declaration that all classified materials had been turned over back in June, until investigators realized there were more, removing 11 sets of documents last week. House Judiciary Republicans fired off letters to the Biden administration today, urging them to save their records about the search warrant, while others in the GOP stressed caution.
I've encouraged all of my colleagues on the left and the right to reserve judgment and not get ahead of yourself.
Tonight, the Justice Department says that it will oppose the unsealing of an affidavit that is related to the search warrant that was issued in order to protect witnesses who have come forward and not to deter others from testifying. Nora?
Interesting. And Nicole, an update on that other big development today involving the former president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani. What do we know?
Well, this is a completely separate case, but prosecutors say that Rudy Giuliani is now the target of a wide-ranging criminal investigation into attempts by the former president and his allies to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. The former New York City mayor is scheduled to testify before a special grand jury Wednesday. Nora?